Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and history lovers. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of US pennies, focusing on one specific year that's got some collectors curious, the 1998 D1 cent coin, minted in Denver. You might be wondering, could a penny from 1998 be worth big money? Could one of these tiny coins actually hold incredible value? Let's dig into the history of this coin, what makes it unique, and explore how pennies like it can sometimes be worth thousands, even millions, to the right collector. First, let's talk about what makes the 1998 penny special. The 1998 1-cent coin, also known as a Lincoln cent, was minted in Denver, which is why you'll see a small D right below the date. This penny is made mostly of zinc, with a thin copper plating. This design was introduced back in 1982, replacing the previous copper composition due to the rising cost of copper. The front of the coin features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which has been on the penny since 1909. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, a design that was introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. So, let's get to the big question. How much is the 1998 D penny worth? Well, in general, a 1998 D penny in circulated condition, meaning it's been used, is usually worth its face value, which is just 1 cent. But don't click away just yet. Because if you have a rare variation or error coin, it could be worth much more to collectors. There are certain things that can make a 1998 D penny worth more than just a cent. Error coins are where things get exciting in the world of coin collecting. Sometimes, due to mistakes during the minting process, coins come out with unique features that weren't intended. And collectors absolutely love these mistakes. For example, certain errors, like a double die error, where the image appears doubled, can make a penny worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Unfortunately, no major known errors are common in the 1998 D penny. However, it's always worth checking closely, as some pennies can have minor errors or unusual traits that increase their value. Another thing to look out for is misalignment errors, or off-center strikes. While rare in 1998 pennies, any coin with noticeable mistakes like this could be valuable. Even a minor misstrike can add significant value in the right market. Now, if you're wondering how pennies can ever be worth millions, let's look at a few famous examples. One of the most valuable pennies ever sold is the 1943 bronze Lincoln cent, which sold for over $1 million. This penny was meant to be made of steel, but a few were mistakenly struck in bronze, making them incredibly rare. Another example is the 1955 double die Lincoln cent, a penny with a visible doubling of the date. These can fetch anywhere from $1,000 to $15,000 depending on the condition. It's these kinds of unique characteristics that drive the value of a penny through the roof. Unfortunately, no 1998 D pennies are known to have such dramatic variations. But if you have one with a unique error, you never know, it could be worth more than face value. The value of a 1998 D penny in average condition typically ranges from 1 cent to a few dollars at most, especially if it's in mint, uncirculated condition. For example, if you find a mint state 1998 D penny that's been perfectly preserved, it could fetch a premium, though not in the $1 million range. Uncirculated or mint state coins are graded on a scale from MS60 to MS70, with MS70 being absolutely flawless. A 1998 D penny in MS67 condition might be worth around $15 to $30, but if you find one graded at MS69, it could potentially go for a few $100s at auction. If you're holding on to some 1998 D pennies or any other coins you're curious about, here's what you can do to check for value. Look at the coin closely, maybe with a magnifying glass, to see if there are any errors like doubling or misalignment. The better the condition, the more likely it could be worth something. Look for uncirculated coins with no visible wear. If you think you found a valuable penny, it could be worth sending to a grading service like PCGS or NGC to get a professional grade. This can help prove its authenticity and condition, which collectors look for. Compare it with recent sales of similar coins. Sites like eBay or auction houses often list sales of rare coins. Remember, the value of a coin is largely determined by its rarity, demand among collectors, and condition. Some coins, like that famous 1943 bronze penny or the 1955 double die, are worth millions because they're rare and in high demand. While the 1998 D penny is generally not one of these super rare coins, it's still worth taking a close look, because who knows what unique error you might find, so there you have it. The story of the 1998 D penny may not be one of million-dollar value, but it's a fascinating piece of American history. And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to find a rare error that turns a penny into big bucks. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more coin collecting tips, and leave a comment with any questions or thoughts about your own coin collections. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting! Next, 2001 1-cent United States of America. Today, we're diving deep into the story of a fascinating coin, the 2001 United States 1-cent coin, also known as the penny. And wait until you hear about its potential value. Could this humble penny actually be worth millions? Let's find out. So, sit back, hit that like button, and let's get started. The 1-cent coin featuring President Abraham Lincoln's profile is instantly recognizable to millions of Americans. But, did you know that certain pennies can be worth big money? Today, we're exploring the unique story behind the 2001 Lincoln penny, its history, unique features, and just why some coins are selling for hundreds, thousands, and, yes, even millions. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909, designed by the sculptor Victor David Brenner to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The 2001 Lincoln penny belongs to the last years of the original design series, which would soon see updates in 2009 for Lincoln's bicentennial. For nearly a century, the Lincoln penny has kept the same iconic design, a side profile of President Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. However, each year's coin has slight differences, and some years and varieties are more valuable than others. Coins like the famous 1943 steel penny, for example, or error pennies have earned high values due to their rarity. Now, you might be wondering, why would anyone pay big money for a 1-cent coin? Well, coin collectors, or numismatists, value pennies based on several factors: rarity, errors, and condition, or what we call grade. So let's break this down. Errors are a huge factor. If a penny has a mistake in its minting, like a double die, an off-center strike, or even if it was accidentally printed on the wrong metal, it can shoot up in value. Collectors go crazy for these little oddities. Then there's the condition. Pennies that are almost untouched, especially in mint state, can be worth much more. Now, let's talk about the 2001 penny specifically. A standard 2001 penny without any errors or rare qualities typically has a face value of, you guessed it, 1 cent. But, there are some 2001 pennies that collectors are paying hundreds or even thousands for. Why? Because of specific minting errors. There are a few known minting errors for the 2001 penny. These include the double die errors, where the text or details on Lincoln's profile appear doubled. Some 2001 pennies also show off-center strikes or other errors that happened during the minting process. The more noticeable the error, the more valuable the penny. Okay, here's where things get really interesting. In recent years, some error pennies from other years have sold for hundreds of thousands or even millions at auction. But could a 2001 penny reach these heights? Well, it's possible, but only under unique conditions. If a 2001 penny has a rare and severe minting error, and if it's in pristine condition or a high grade from a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, it might sell for thousands of dollars. Recently, certain modern error pennies have seen sales in the high 5 figures and even 6 figures. So, if a 2001 penny with a dramatic error were to be discovered, it could potentially reach an astronomical value. So, how can you tell if your 2001 penny is worth more than 1 cent? First, grab a magnifying glass or a coin microscope and take a close look at your penny. Check for any unusual characteristics like doubling in the text, strange marks, or an off-center strike. If you see anything out of the ordinary, you might have a valuable coin on your hands. After that, it's a good idea to have your coin professionally graded. Grading can help assess the coin's condition, which is crucial for determining its market value. Even slight differences in grade can mean hundreds or even thousands of dollars in difference. Here are a few tips if you're looking to find valuable pennies in your own collection or even in loose change. First, keep an eye on pennies from specific years like 1909, 1914, 1943, and even some from the 1980s and early 2000s. These years often have coins with valuable errors or rare varieties. Remember, a coin's value can be determined by factors like rarity, demand, and overall market interest. The more unique or rare your penny is, the higher its potential value. In summary, the 2001 Lincoln penny is an interesting coin with some valuable varieties, especially when it comes to error coins. While most 2001 pennies will still only be worth 1 cent, it's worth taking a closer look. Who knows, you might find a hidden treasure in your pocket change. And that wraps it up. If you learned something new today or enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments if you have any interesting pennies in your collection, or if you've ever found one worth big money. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep collecting. Next 1995 1 cent today, we're diving deep into the incredible story of the 1995 penny and exploring what makes it such an interesting coin for collectors. Let's set the scene. It's 1995. The internet is still young, Toy Story is taking the world by storm as the first fully computer-animated film, and Bill Clinton is in the White House. During this time, the US Mint was producing billions of 1 cent coins each year. Most were just ordinary pennies, simple, unassuming, and used for everyday purchases. But, a few of them were far from ordinary. The 1995 penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, carries the same iconic design that had been in place since 1909. Abraham Lincoln's profile appears on the front, while the Lincoln Memorial is featured on the back. At this time, pennies were being minted with a copper-plated zinc composition, with only 2.5% copper and the rest zinc. However, not all 1995 pennies were created equally. One of the major reasons certain 1995 pennies are worth so much is due to a minting error. If you're lucky, you might come across what's known as a double die obverse, or DDO error. A double die occurs when the die, essentially the mold that stamps the design onto the blank coin, isn't aligned properly for the second press. This creates a doubled appearance in certain areas of the design, and in the case of the 1995 penny, it's particularly noticeable in the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Look closely at this 1995 penny with the DDO error, and you'll see the doubling effect, especially around the text. These doubled features can make the coin look almost like it has a shadow, and it's one of the telltale signs that you found something unique. Now, you might be wondering, how much can a 1995 double die obverse penny really be worth? Well, while most 1995 pennies are only worth face value, some of these DDO pennies have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on their condition. Coins graded as mint state or MS by professional graders, which means they're in excellent condition, have seen some serious bidding wars at auction. If you come across a 1995 penny in great condition with that distinctive double die, it's definitely worth looking into. You might just have a small fortune on your hands. But not all DDO pennies are created equally, and this is where coin grading comes in. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating better condition. A 1995 DDO penny graded MS 68 or above will naturally attract more interest from collectors and can be worth significantly more. So, how can you tell if your 1995 penny is one of these valuable ones? Here's what to look for. Look at each letter carefully, especially the IN and the WE. The higher the grade, the higher the potential value. If your 1995 penny has these features, you may want to consider getting it professionally graded by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Before we wrap up, here are a few fun facts about the Lincoln penny. Did you know that the Lincoln cent was the first U.S. coin to feature a president? In 1909, it was issued to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it's been in circulation ever since. Over the years, there have been multiple design changes, but Lincoln's profile has remained a constant. Whether you're an experienced collector or just someone with a few coins in a jar, it's always worth taking a second look. Coins like the 1995 DDO penny show us how something seemingly ordinary can become a prized collectible. In the world of coin collecting, even the smallest errors or differences can make a big impact on a coin's value. To wrap up, here are a few quick tips for anyone interested in coin collecting. Wear gloves and avoid touching the surface to prevent oils from damaging the coin. Keep coins in individual holders or albums to prevent scratches. The more you know about grading, the easier it will be to spot valuable coins. Even a penny can hold a fascinating history and a surprising value. Thanks for watching. Remember, the next time you get a penny in your change, don't just toss it aside, give it a second look. Who knows, you might just have a piece of hidden history and a potential fortune waiting to be discovered. Next, 1973 1 cent. Today, we're diving deep into the world of coin collecting to explore the 1973 1 cent coin. You might think, it's just a penny, how much could it be worth? Well, you might be surprised. Some coins that appear to be common pennies can actually be worth a small fortune. In this video, we'll cover everything you need to know about the 1973 penny, its history, how to identify valuable versions, and what collectors are willing to pay big money for. To understand why some coins are so valuable, it helps to know a bit about their history. The 1 cent coin, or penny, is a true American classic. Since its inception in 1793, it's seen many designs and materials. Fast forward to 1973, and you'll see a familiar face on the coin, Abraham Lincoln. This design has been in use since 1909, in honor of Lincoln's 100th birthday, and is still used today. On the back of the penny, or reverse side, is the Lincoln Memorial, which had been there since 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This design was in circulation from 1959 to 2008, so the 1973 penny is part of that era. And while it may look just like other pennies from the time, there are a few things that make some of these coins special. So, let's get into the million-dollar question, or in this case, the $37 million question: is your 1973 penny worth a fortune? Most 1973 pennies have a very low face value, just 1 cent. However, there are specific, unique versions of these coins that can fetch thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars, depending on their condition, rarity, and mint errors. First, you'll want to check the mint mark. 1973 pennies were minted in two main locations: Philadelphia, which produced pennies with no mint mark, and Denver, which has a small, deep mint mark below the date. While most pennies from either mint are still only worth face value, coins in a mint state, meaning they look nearly brand new, can have higher collector value. But even more interesting are the errors. Mint errors can make a huge difference. Some 1973 pennies have rare minting errors that make them stand out. Double dies, off-center strikes, and even planchet errors, where the coin blank itself is flawed, are highly collectible. For instance, a 1973 penny with a prominent doubling on Lincoln's face or on the words, "In God We Trust," could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars to the right collector. So where does this idea of a 1973 penny being worth $37 million come from? It's likely inspired by some high-profile auctions for ultra-rare coins. Some coins, like certain versions of the 1943 copper penny or a rare double eagle gold coin, have sold for millions at auction. When people hear these stories, they often assume any old penny might be just as valuable. Remember, though, that these multi-million-dollar coins are exceptions. They're usually unique due to historical errors, unusual mint materials, or low survival rates. The 1973 penny doesn't have a known version worth $37 million, but some rare pennies have fetched thousands of dollars. Alright, so now that we know what makes some pennies valuable, let's go over how you can check your own 1973 penny at home. The first step is to look at its condition. Is it shiny and uncirculated, or worn and scratched? The more pristine it is, the more potential value. Errors like doubling, off-center strikes, or any unique visual elements can increase value. You might need a magnifying glass to spot subtle features. If you think you found a valuable coin, consider having it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. They'll certify its authenticity and condition, which can raise its market value significantly. Check online auction sites or coin collecting forums to see if similar 1973 pennies are selling for high amounts. This can give you a realistic idea of its worth. So, is your 1973 penny worth $37 million? Probably not, but that doesn't mean it isn't valuable. Coin collecting is about more than just making money, it's a journey through history and a way to appreciate the craftsmanship of currency. Thanks for watching. If you learned something new today, make sure to like this video and subscribe to your channel name for more fascinating stories from the world of coins and collectibles. And remember, check your change carefully, you never know when you might have a little piece of treasure in your pocket. Next 1963 1 cent today, we're diving deep into the story behind the 1963 1 cent coin from the United States and uncovering why some rare pennies like this can be worth thousands, even millions of dollars. Stay tuned if you want to learn what makes these coins so valuable. To understand the 1963 penny, let's start with a bit of history. The 1 cent coin that many of us are familiar with is also known as the Lincoln cent. The design was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, making it the first U.S. coin to feature an American president. By 1963, the Lincoln penny had been in circulation for over 50 years, featuring the iconic profile of Lincoln on the front, or obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, or reverse, introduced in 1959. This design by Victor David Brenner became a staple in American coinage. The 1963 penny was minted during a period when pennies were made predominantly from copper, containing about 95% copper and 5% zinc. These coins weigh about 3.11 grams each. In 1963 alone, billions of pennies were produced, around 754 million at the Philadelphia Mint and over 1.7 billion at the Denver Mint. Now, you might be wondering, why would anyone pay more than 1 cent for a penny minted in such large quantities? The truth is that not every 1963 penny is valuable, but certain types can be worth a lot. When it comes to coin collecting, condition and rarity are everything. Let's break this down into 3 main factors. First is the condition of the coin. Coins in pristine condition, graded as mint state by coin grading organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, are much more valuable than circulated coins. Collectors will pay premium prices for coins that have no scratches, nicks, or other signs of wear. 1963 penny in mint state condition can be worth $10 to $30. However, if it has a perfect grade, like an MS-67 or MS-68, collectors might pay $500 or even more, but the really valuable 1963 pennies are the ones with errors. Error coins are those with mistakes made during the minting process, like doubling, off-centering, or die cracks. These errors are rare, making them highly sought after by collectors. One type of error is the A double die error. Occurs when the die used to strike the coin imprints the design twice, resulting in a visible doubling effect, especially noticeable in areas like the date, liberty, or the word, "In God We Trust." This effect makes these pennies stand out and can raise their value dramatically. Some double die error coins have sold for thousands of dollars at auction. You might be asking, okay, but what about these so-called $55 million pennies? Well, it's important to separate fact from fiction here. Although the 1963 penny isn't generally known to fetch millions, certain rare pennies from other years have indeed reached high auction prices due to unique qualities. For instance, the 1943 bronze penny and the 1955 double-die penny have fetched high prices due to their extreme rarity and error types. The 1943 bronze penny, accidentally made during World War II when most pennies were struck from steel, sold for over $1 million. These legendary coins are part of what fuels fascination with pennies and why collectors pay big money for certain ones. But unfortunately, there's no verified record of any 1963 penny fetching $55 million. So, realistically, how much could your 1963 penny be worth? As we mentioned, a high-grade 1963 penny in mint condition might be worth around $10 to $30. Error coins with more noticeable flaws could sell for hundreds, possibly $1,000 or more. If you're a collector or just curious about your change, it's worth looking out for pennies that appear unusual. Check for things like doubling, off-center strikes, or even repunched mint marks, where the mint mark was stamped twice. A magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe is your best friend for spotting these details. So, there you have it. While it's unlikely that your 1963 penny is worth $55 million, it's certainly possible to find one worth more than face value if it's in mint condition or has a unique error. Keep in mind that patience and attention to detail are key. Start by organizing your pennies, learn about the different types of errors, and familiarize yourself with coin grading systems. Who knows, you might just discover a valuable treasure hiding in your change jar. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins and their history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Have any interesting coin finds of your own? Drop a comment below, we'd love to hear about them. Until next time, happy collecting.